Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, aka Mr. Everything, and I'm coming back at you with another wargaming and miniature video. In today's video, we're going to continue on with our What's in the Box series. Now, in today's What's in the Box, we are going to be taking a look at these Northstar miniatures, Goblin Wolf Riders, for their game Oathmark. Battles of the Lost Ages. Okay, now in this box it says there's going to be 15 28mm figures. So I'm assuming there's going to be 15 wolves and goblins. Okay, now let's take a look at the back. That's pretty imposing right there, that picture. It's showing 3 ranks of 5 wolf riders with their goblins, and I'm like, yikes, right? Okay, looks pretty impressive. It looks like the wolves are 2 parts and the goblins are multi-part. And it says goblins have long shared their bond with the great wolves that haunt the marshes. Okay, this box set offers enough parts to build 15 wolves or 15 Goblin Wolf Riders. It should say and. I would think it should say and. Goblins can be assembled with bows to make the Wolf Rider scouts, or with hand weapons or spears and shields to make standard Wolf Riders. Parts also included to add banner bearers and officers to the ranks of these savage, fast-moving units. Alright, so now, Northstar Miniatures in cooperation with Osprey Games. Let's go ahead and open this box up and let's see exactly what we get inside. Okay, I'm seeing some good things. Okay, that is everything. Set the box off to the side. Out of the way. First thing I want to do is put the wolves over here, but I do want to point out that you receive 3 sprues of Renedra bases, and these are 25. They're 1 inch by 2 inch or 25 by 50 millimeters. That's your standard cavalry size base. Almost every game in the universe uses a 1x2 for their cavalry, and Oathmark is no different. Okay, pretty squared away. They give you bases. Okay, so now you got your goblin sprues and you have your wolf sprues. Now, just as a casual look, every one of those sprues is exactly the same. And then over here, flip it over. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, casual look at that. Yes, all 3 of these sprues are exactly the same. Okay, so there's 3 sprues of goblins, which probably have 5 goblins per sprue, making 15. And these have 3 wolves per sprue, and there are 5 sprues, making 15. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll look at 1 sprue of wolves and 1 sprue of goblins, because that will cover all the different sprues. Okay, let's start off with the wolves. Okay, the wolves have some small bases. He's got his foot up in the air Um, Depending on how you mount these, it looks like, yeah, one side, the left side of the wolf has the tail built in, and the right side of the wolf doesn't. Now, these wolves are numbered. I see a 1 on both of those. I see a 2 on these two, and I see a 3 on these two. So that's probably the way they're supposed to be glued together. But I would have to give it an experiment and see. It doesn't look like it would work. Yeah, the hole is by the, I don't know. I would have to try mixing and matching, but if not, that's okay. At least they're numbered to tell you exactly which ones are which. The fur, not super excited about the fur, but then again, it's it's pretty good. You'll have to see when I show you up close, because what we'll do is we'll zoom in and take a look at those. All right, let's take a look at these goblins. Okay, these are all the seated positions. You got 5 torsos, and they look like you could mix and match the torsos because there's nothing unique about the bottom of the or the top of the legs and the bottom of the body. You could glue them on, you could twist them left and right, you can put them into different poses. Plus, these each have a different style of armor. You can mix and match with the different legs, which have a slight variety to them. Not huge, but there is a little bit of variety. Okay, so you got your left arms here with for shields. Now some of these look like they have chainmail. Some look like they have cloth. Now you might want to pair them up with the type of body, but I don't think it will really matter with the goblin, but we'll have to check. And then you've got your shields that would go on the arms. So you've got 5 shield arms. Hand weapons. I'm seeing a couple of curved swords, a couple of axes, a couple of curved swords, another sword. So there's at least 5 swords. Okay, there's 5 swords. So you could easily have 5 sword and shields if you wanted. That looks like a pole for a standard. Looks like a horse skull or something being used as the tip of the standard. Archers got 5 bows. So if you wanted this whole sprue to be bows, you could. So you could have 15 bows. You could have 15 swords. Axes, you only get 1, 2. Yeah, so hand weapons, I think they all are counted as just hand weapons in Oathmark. So you can mix and match your swords with your axes. But if you just wanted all swords, you can. And you're talking about some of these are long swords, some of these are short swords. Actually, just one. The rest are all long. Okay. Now, the bows. That's the left arm. Right arm, I see a couple of them here like they've got it pulled back. They're going to shoot, possibly. I see a couple of them here with an arrow in their hand, like they're going to load, but I only see 2 of those and 2 of those. Only 4. Okay, and then there's this arm, which really doesn't have anything. It looks like he's gripping something. And then spear wise, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spears. Different poses for these spears. One's got him thrusting up high. Some of them are just holding him low. He's thrusting. They're just holding him. And then this is a spear with just a hand on it. All right, after taking a little bit closer look at this sprue, which we will, we're going to zoom in and I'm going to show you exactly everything that I'm talking about on these sprues. But what I did notice was that 3 of these armors are chainmail body types. This one looks like it might have chainmail under his coat, and this one is scale. And then when I was looking at almost all the arms, like we'll take a look at the shield arms, 3 of them have chainmail. This one's got some chainmail scraps on it, but you could see where the chainmail would fit perfectly with the other chainmail torsos. And then when I was looking at the bodies, legs around the groin, you see a little bit of chainmail around the waist on these 3 here, and not these 2. So it looks like 3 have chainmail and 2 do not. When I was looking at the spear arms, you've got about 3 with chainmail and the rest are not. When you look at the archers, you've got 2 arrows in the hand here. They both have chainmail. And then this arrow down here is just a shirt, it looks like. And these 2 firing ones look like shirts. So that might have chainmail underneath. I'm not sure about that, but if it does, I would pair it up with maybe the scale or this one here, or who knows. When you're looking at the sword arms, I was noticing both these axes look like they've got a little bit of chainmail, chain, and chain. So you're looking at 3 chain and then a couple without chain. Same thing with the bow. You got 3 with chain and 2 without. So that works out really well. Little bit of piece that's a little confusing to me is you get an extra spear with just a hand on it. I guess if you wanted to, you could cut one of these sword hands off and glue a spear on, but I don't really see the need to do that. It just weakens. That's a weak point where you glue the hand onto the arm. You don't need to do that because you get at least 6 spears already. There's no need to make a 7th spear when you only have 5 figures in this sprue anyway. So you've got enough spears to make all 15 spearmen, enough swords to make 15 swordsmen, enough or hand weapon, and then you also have hand weapons to make 6 with axes if you wanted. Now there's these 5 little pieces right here which look like plumes, hair plumes, or things that might come off the back of a helmet of like a Caesarian Roman, but it doesn't specify where you're supposed to attach them. They do have a little bitty hole on the back side, making it look like they're supposed to be attached to something. I don't see anything that they're supposed to be attached to on the wolves or on the figures. Glancing at the picture of the miniatures assembled, it shows one of the guys has a plume like that coming off of his helmet. I looked at all these helmets and I don't see any with a little pin where you would attach the plume. So it's just an accessory. You can use it or not use it. Okay, now you get 10 heads, so you get 30 heads. You get more heads than you're going to need, but that's good because then you can mix and match and have a larger variety. I take that back. You get another head down here with these huge horns. This guy would be great for your your commander of the unit. So really, you get 33 heads. Some of these have horns, some don't. Some have really the pig face look with tusks. And some just, no, I guess they all do. Some have helmets, some do not. Slightly pointed ears. It looks like he's got a comb over. Also, I noticed the handholds, the grip on these hands. They're holding a leather strap. You can see the leather strap in their grip, and those arms would fit right onto these shields. And the shields have like the forearm strap and a spot for the hand grip. So when you put the arm in, you line that up, and you're going to have a beautiful looking shield inside. Not that a lot of people see the inside of the shield because you've got it either tucked up close to the body or whatever, but it's a beautiful touch. I like the look of it. I think it was that's one extra step that makes it a beautiful model. The shields have a lot of battle damage on them. And yeah, it looks like these guys are going to go together pretty easily. And it looks like they're going to be a joy to paint. Okay, let me adjust my camera. Let me adjust my focus. We'll get in. We'll take a close look at the details on these miniatures. All right, we're going to take a look at these wolves first. Got pretty good detail on the wolves. You can see the fangs, hair, little bit of mold line flash right there that you can fix. Some of these wolves have their feet up off the ground, like they're in the middle of a run. Just flip that over. All right, now the inside, you can see how they're numbered. Like that says 1. That should pair up with 1. You also see the male pin and the female pin, so they would go together like that. But if you look there, you can see that you got a 3 and a 3, 2, 2. All right, now the Goblin sprue. Where to start at but we'll just start at the top. These are the bow arms, right? Like fabric. Then you got chainmail. Chainmail scraps. Fabric. You also get quivers. I didn't mention the quivers with the arrows. You get 5 of those. There's the 2 axes. I don't know. That's more like a pickaxe, but it is still an axe. Sword, kind of jagged, war-torn. Curved swords. Then you got the arms here that for shooting, bow. And then these are the plumes that I was mentioning. 5 of those. There's another curved sword. Short curved sword. Long curved sword. Officer or leader head. Top of your standard, and then there's standard pole, kind of just a rough piece of wood. And then here's the goblin torso with their big neck leaning forward, kind of like a hunchback. And then this is still chainmail. It just has the armored plates on it. The open hand, which I assume, you can put anything in there. That if you've got other bits and bobs that you want to put on there, you could do that. There's an arrow where he's reloading. Torso with the jacket. It looks like it's got chainmail underneath. And then chain, and then finally you got that scale armor. And then here's some shield arms. See how they got their straps in their hands. Straps, looks worn out. And then the shields, you can see how they've got these spots to lay the arms perfectly on there. And then the heads. Some of these look really good. Big faces. Big in it. And then here's the legs. You got a pack and a knife, and the torso split off by a belt, so a natural line separates the upper and lower, so it's disguised when you glue it together. Belt and knife, and then this one has a knife and a belt. You can see the chainmail scraps sticking below, and then there's chainmail there, and then finally you got chainmail there as well. Okay, and then the spear arms. Holding low. There's the one with just the hand. And then you got this one either thrusting or holding it up high. And then, whoops, trying to get it in the camera. Okay, and then you got the arrow, convenient place, and then another spear. Just however you want to mount them. Okay, so let's look at the back side. We'll work our way up. Now you'll see a little bubble hole in the arms where they would mount to the torso, but don't worry about that because that's going to be hidden by gluing it onto the body. Okay, the back side of the riders. And heads have those big holes on them so that it'll fit on those giant neck pieces. Their heads will stick forward. Now this is the shield arms. Various positions. And then this is what the shields look like on the front. Some of them have like a metal reinforcement, and then the other side doesn't. I think that was a good touch. Battle damage. Shield with the ring plate, plates. This open hand used for who knows what. The arrows. Backside of a couple more torsos. There's the scale. There's the shooting hands, and then these plumes. You see the little hole on the bottom, the little pinhole. Not sure, but I guess you could just mount it on anything. I was thinking maybe a sword, dangling it off of a sword, or maybe the back of his shoulder, or hang it off the shield, hang it off his belt. You know, they could be awards or you know, loot. And the standard pole, which you don't have to use, but if you want, it's available on the backside of the general. And then here's the bows, the inside of the bows, quivers, more of the swords and axes. And that's it. And you can see Northstar miniatures. You can see Osprey. And then down here, you'll notice that plastic is by Renedra. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out and checking out these Goblin Wolf Riders for Oathmark, which I find to be top-notch miniature game. I highly recommend it. I actually built quite a few armies myself for Oathmark, and I also have a few armies on my eBay store if you want to check them out. Basically, I've started rebasing all my fantasy figures to 1-inch bases specifically for Oathmark. So you should check those out as well. And 15 wolves, that would be pretty devastating in Oathmark, I think. Yeah, so thank you for coming out and checking out this video. Now, what you'll notice is I do a lot of what's in the box videos, and I will do them whenever I get a new product in my store. I will open it, review it, and I will show you what's in the box. And also, I'm doing this for my purposes as well, because I want to learn personally what's in the box. And so whenever I get new product, I will put it up on the store at Wargaming in Miniature. So check that out. And I will see you in the next video.